What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we're jumping into Ultimate Universe 1 year in. And this is a fun story because not only does it highlight the Makers Council, all the people that are in charge of specific continents across the globe. This comic is going to heavily focus on Nick Fury, on his organization known as the Hand. And it's an absolutely amazing story that's being told here, but you guys gotta strap in till the end. We're finally beginning to understand what happened to mutant kind in the Ultimate Universe. Moreover, we learn what happens to Wolverine. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we jump into this one shot, it sets the stage for what's about to happen. We set the stage for the second year of the Ultimate line, and we get the debut of two new characters that are going to be making the landscape. To get this story started off, we pick up with Kincaid, 41 years old. By all accounts, this man looks like an everyday, regular guy, but the narrator lets us know that this man is a terrorist, that everything you see is all cloak and daggers, that this man is a threat to everybody. So when the storm clouds come rolling in, the lightning bolt comes down and it takes out Keith Kincaid right here in that moment. What everybody didn't know is that that storm cloud was not natural. This was the work of Hand, which stands for Heroic Anomaly Neutralization Directorate. They roll around on their helicarrier, a mile high, a storm cloud a mile wide, hiding all of their movement, able to take out any target at any place that they so choose, and no one's the wiser. Our narrator and the man at the helm of all of this is none other than Nick Fury. Now, Nick Fury is a man of action. He gets things taken care of. He has been working for the Maker as long as he can remember, but the Maker is currently gone, which means he no longer answers to him. He answers to the Council. In Nick Fury's mind, he narrates the events that are going to happen. Today, something drastic is going to change. Nick Fury has a plan. 35 minutes are on his clock. Remembering that he had a bullet in his brain since 1944, and up till a year ago, he answered directly to the Maker. But now that the Council stands before him, he introduces them one by one. Henry Duggery, aka Captain Britain, ruler of Europe and the East Coast of North America, King of Avalon. Next, Emmanuel da Costa, leader of the Society of South America and the Black King of the Hellfire Club. Little known fact about him, da Costa receives regular transfusions to keep him young and vital. The kid standing next to him, attached to an IV, is Robert da Costa, a boy with a genetic mutation that gives him power over fire and light. The transfusions give his father temporary super attributes. Moving over, we have the Rasputins, direct descendants of the actual Rasputin. We have Magic, Colossus, and Omega Red, a family that more or less rules with an iron fist. People that are never seen smiling. To continue on, we have Emperor Sunfire. We have Ra and Khonshu, the lords of upper and lower kingdoms, the chosen representatives of the Egyptian gods on Earth, ruling almost all of Africa. Finally, we have the Hulk, the Enlightened One, ruling over most of Asia, to include the west coast of North America as well. Absolute monarch of the 7 celestial cities of heaven, spiritual leader to billions. This is the group that rules the world. But if Nick Fury has anything to say about that, they're not going to rule for much longer. He knows that they're all monsters. He knows he has just as much blood on his hands as anybody in this room, but he always wasn't this person. Back in the days of kicking Nazi butt, good and evil, black and white, it wasn't so hard to see the difference. everything seemed so much cleaner back then. But somewhere along the line, things got blurry. The Maker showed up, and he doesn't remember much after this. But as he continues on talking with the Council, they discuss the Ultimates. After Bruce Banner's failure in Kunlun, swearing that he killed Iron Lad, the Ultimates are still out there doing work, as we saw in Ultimates issue number 6. The Ultimates terrorist network is still very active. Now less high profile, less ambiguous, and more careful. All Bruce Banner did is put them on a higher sense of security. But he does say that there is good news. Right now, the war of propaganda is winning. News outlets, comic books, everything you can think of is putting out what they want the world to know. And that message is that Iron Lad, all of his friends, they're all bad. They're all terrorists. They all hate you. And this propaganda tactic has been highly successful. But as it stands, they have no idea who the Ultimates are. Nick Fury does have a solution for this. Secret agents. They've had men in Wakanda, in New York, embedded all over the place. Embedded with what they believe are likely future recruits of the Ultimates. And they have dozens like this all over the world. They can be anybody. So can Nick Fury and his people. Obviously, the Council is outraged. Agents operating in their territories without any permission or any knowledge. But he tells them that they all work for the same person. Not only this, they've made some serious progress in turning somebody inside the organization. Nick Fury says that he has turned somebody in the Ultimates. This argument, it quickly escalates to pretty much everybody arguing. After making the implication that the Ultimates could be anybody, it's a slight nudge that it could be one of the Council members. Or maybe one of the Council members is working with the others, working with the Ultimates to maybe gain more power for themselves. Because that's all the Council is. It is full of greed, full of ambition, full of power-hungry individuals that just want more. But as Nick Fury's clock gets down to 0, he thinks about the old days when he enabled the Inhuman genocide, when he killed a family of star children. This is the day that he has finally had enough. He initiates this self-destruct sequence. The countdown beginning, Nick Fury pulls out his pistol. The Council members, confused, unsure what is happening at first, he goes on to explain that you had to see this coming. In a few seconds, the entire helicarrier is going to explode, possibly even killing Banner. He just wanted to make sure that they were over the ocean, making sure that nobody was going to get hurt with its destruction. With 10 seconds left, he tells them he figures now the Ultimates might have a chance. With the Council out of the way, maybe there's an opportunity. Maybe they can fight against the Maker. Maybe they can save the world. And when that self-destruct doesn't go off, Nick Fury's face is priceless. The entirety of the Council just laugh in his face, saying that they barely last a year now. The last time a Nick Fury tried this, it was an exploding island. Or another time, a hyper plague infected Handshake. They taunt him, they tease him, they mock him. And Nick Fury, he simply doesn't understand. In his dying moments, as Emmanuel DaCosta sets him ablaze. As we watch Nick Fury die, he doesn't understand. The Council leaving and having somebody clean up his body. Some would speculate they don't really understand why the Maker continues to do this, when they demand complete, absolute obedience. Emmanuel goes on to say that a spy isn't a soldier or a citizen. A spy who won't betray, that's not a spy at all. And so the idea is the Maker always wanted to keep Nick Fury as much of a spy as he could. Now that they know Nick Fury will always betray them, this will help flush out any unexpected betrayals. But more than anything, Emmanuel DaCosta believes that the Maker, he just kind of enjoys it. As they open up the room, what we see are dozens of clone bodies of Nick Fury. With Nick Fury's story just beginning, we pick up with the Rasputins. We pick up when they made a deal with the Maker. He gave them the control. The Eurasian Republic was to be centralized home for mutant kind, though its primary motive was always with control. And who better to control mutants than mutants? What the Maker did not know, though, was that the Republic chose to do with those mutants instead of giving them sanctuary or imprisonment. Despite their genetic similarities, they were not viewed as brother and sister but as tools, their unique abilities made useful. And although there was peace between territories as established under the Maker's watchful eye, leaders grew fearful of incursions, insurrections, reactionary reprisals. This is where they created Directorate X, working in secret. This is where they experimented. In one of these, they found something amazing, something they refer to as the specimen, having regeneratory properties. 4 surgeons dying trying to sedate him, taking an Omega-level telepath to control him, and this barely worked. And so they perfected him. They turned him into the perfect warrior. They turned him into the perfect soldier. They turned a man into a weapon, born and died, and then born again. This man was once called Logan. Then he was referred to as Specimen. But now, the only thing that they call him is the Winter Soldier. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Alright, so this one's kinda revealing 1944 seems to be an important date. That is the time that the Maker went back and changed things. World War II, Captain America, the Nazis, everything else in between. This is why Nick Fury can't remember much. This is why his memory is hazy. That's the day that he died and was turned into a clone. But it is quite brilliant what the Maker is doing. The Maker is essentially saying, I'm gonna let Nick Fury operate as a spy as he would always do. Inevitably, I know this man's gonna turn on me. But in him turning on me, I already know it's coming, and maybe I can grab a traitor along in the process. And so while Nick Fury tries to figure out how he's gonna get out of this and stop them, because that's the inevitable goal, I would think, is Nick Fury figures out what's going on with him, figures out there's clones of him, figures out he's died so many times, and then tries to stop this from happening. But I think the bigger story here lies in the last couple of pages. We finally get an understanding of what's going on with mutant kind, because while Ultimate X-Men has gave us a brief little glimpse into what's going on, considering we have Emperor Sunfire and everything else going on in the Ultimate X-Men, this little tidbit has given us more information on mutant kind than anything going on in that series. We are now learning that it is fact the Rasputin family has control of mutant kind. They have enslaved them and make them work as laborers. Undoubtedly, there have been uprisings, but when some of the most powerful mutants are in control, it's a very dangerous game. Even more so, there's Wolverine, a character literally created to take on the Hulk. And he has been turned into the Winter Soldier, a brute mercenary working for the Rasputins, hunting down and taking out anybody that might be in their way. So you know what this means. Wolverine versus the Ultimates is on the horizon. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that has been going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It'll get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with the Ultimates in the Ultimate Universe. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.